So, welcome, AJ. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for driving up to Kaneohe. We've had this warehouse shop space for a little while now, but we haven't done anything like this where, the friends could come down and we could do a podcast. We haven't even done an event or a grand opening here just because we had some issues with the lease when we first started. It was a long build. So that whole roller coaster ride was just, kind of slowing everything down to getting some friends in here for something like this. So
it's nice. You guys got the mat set up. We'll get some pictures of it. We got the displays. There's a whole warehouse in the back. It's a cool spot. It's a really cool spot.
Right on. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us about how you plan this out?
So before, this used to be the guy that had it before us. It was a Hawaii triathlon bike shop. So this front area space was kind of like his front retail spot area where he had like bikes and triathlon gear, out on display. And then in the back, behind those back doors, the guy actually lived back there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was this was his front of the house and then the back of the house where he lived. So when we checked out this spot, our concept was we wanted the front of the house to have, nice mats, nice like wall aesthetics, and real clean, just so it would be photo friendly for photo shoots on the mats.
Right.
And then we also have like our big flashlight here.
Yeah, you got the whole pro setup
and
over
then
here.
My wife comes in, she'll do the photos for the website of the products laid out on the whiteboard. So the front of the house is all like photo friendly, nice racks and mannequin. And then the back of the house, the concept back there is just to have our big stock inventory room. It's not as finished as the front. And then, hold all our inventory. That's where we pack all the packages. And then, we're pretty lucky. We have a sink back there, some extra storage, and then we have a bathroom and a shower. So as soon as I'm done training, I could go take a shower right away and get back to work. We scored a perfect spot for
it. It's nice. It's really nice.
I love having a shower at my gym. Man, it's clutch,
so
right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes a big difference.
Because when I go out and go train at, Mono or Roots or visiting other schools, I'm that crazy guy in the parking lot that brings the 2 water jugs. And I'm like this. Yeah. I'm like showering off in my underwear after class. And, sometimes that doesn't look too good depending what parking lot you're in. So I think the guys at Mendoza used to be, though. But
I feel you. I've had ringworm enough times. I'll get those creepy crawlies off of me as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah.
I can't make the drive from like another academy back to Kaneohe without getting the creepy crawlies off.
You gotta sit in your car in it like the whole drive. Like that's miserable.
Yeah, you're just marinating. Everyone's sweat.
Letting it fester.
But yeah, so super psyched you guys, made it up. Got some old friends to come check out the new spot.
Definitely, thanks for having us. Can we talk about the new drop you had? So Spider-Man gi went live like 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago?
Yeah. Just 30 minutes ago we went live of our day 27 spider gi that's obviously inspired from the Spider-Man colors. And then kind of the inspiration for me is, we're always studying different techniques in jiu-jitsu. Yep. There's a bunch of different spider guard variations.
Sure, yeah.
So I just loved, learning the different spider guard variations along with being a big Spider-Man fan. We kind of put it all together.
Nice.
And created a gi that, we think would be a hit with, adults, kids, everyone. So
who doesn't love Spider-Man, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Who doesn't like to climb walls? And so we just dropped it live about an hour ago. This is our first limited edition release of 2025.
Nice.
It's day 27 because we number our limited edition releases. So this is basically our 27th limited edition release.
Wow.
So
what are some of the limited ones you've released that really stood out to you, or meant something special to you? I mean, I know they all did, but what's this is I had a good time on this project, or really proud of the product?
You know what? Some of my favorite ones are the collaboration gis that we do.
Okay, you guys have some good collaborations.
Because then you get to work closely with those friends and their brand, learn about their brand and kind of their following too, and how it crosses over into jiu-jitsu. So a couple of my favorite ones are we did a light sleepers, don't sleep gi.
That one was sick.
With
And they never shipped my. I was in Hong Kong. They never shipped it to me because at some point when I bought it, the credit card in Asia didn't go through.
Oh,
I
it,
never
like,
got
canceled
it.
you
I
out,
never
bruh.
got it. So I ordered it. I thought it was all good, and then like you get the email a couple days later.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever, it canceled. I went back on. It already sold out of my size. I was like, oh, this sucks.
brutal.
I was calling my brother-in-law. He hangs out with, or he's in the light sleepers. And
Oh, nice.
He's like, I'll see if I can get you one. And I was like, I really want this gi. That one was crazy. That was probably my favorite gi you guys
No
put
way,
out.
bro. Bummer.
I was
like,
so
I never-
bummed
I
out.
never knew you missed out.
I
on
was
that.
so bummed. I was there in the middle of the night trying to get that thing. And I was like, oh, I can't believe I missed this.
But I could see that happening, like it's canceling out because of the international
Yep.
transaction
Yep.
or whatnot. But I got some good news for you. Cabot and Spells came down last week Friday.
Okay.
We talked shop about another, had another meeting, and
Okay.
we're gonna run it back.
Oh yeah!
What?
All right, I'm getting it.
Yeah, we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
do-
be in the country.
we're
I'm gonna
gonna-
be in Hawaii. I'm gonna come down to the shop and get that one.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a version 2, but that's why now that you have me on text, you can just be like, hey, lock me in. So that's why that light sleepers one is out, because
Okay.
we were reviewing that,
Oh, nice.
thinking of concepts for version 2.
Ah. Oh, that was probably my favorite one. That one was great.
Yeah, man, light sleeper guys are legendary. so.
Oh yeah.
And just the don't sleep motto just makes so much sense with jiu-jitsu. Everybody getting choked out. So like it doesn't make any more sense
Oh,
than
yeah,
that,
don't
right?
sleep.
And a couple of those guys
Like-
train, right?
Yeah, couple
Yeah.
of them trained. Cabot.
Yep.
When we made that gi, we made gis in his sizes, and then they're starting to get into it. And then even in when we do round 2, we're gonna have them be in the gis and kind of like
That's
do a little
cool.
class here.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, you see if Cabot could do a flying triangle or something.
I say we set up like a freestyle cipher and have them go. Like that'd be a cool little promo.
So we want to do like, maybe we'll have like an in-person pickup option. We'll have Cabot bring the turntables in.
Yeah.
And then
That'd
just
be
kind of
cool.
bumping music, kind of
Yeah.
hanging out. People could come pick up their gis,
That'd
and
be
then
fun.
it'll be a good excuse for them to come out to Kaneohe and kind of check out the
Yeah.
spot.
Speaking of things that Day by Day has done for the jiu-jitsu community, when I opened my gym 5 years ago, you actually gave me a gi, and every time I've needed something for like a big show or whatever, you guys have always come through for me. And so, number one, thank you for that. And because I know how tough this industry is, right? And I'm sure you do as well. How do you feel about supporting where you can and all that kind of stuff?
That's something that we take super seriously because, I'm in the same shoes as you guys. We're out there training our butts off, trying to connect with students, kind of help them come up through their journey and just support them in this jiu-jitsu lifestyle. So I think it's because all of us have the same goals and objective of elevating Hawaii Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes, sir.
Elevating Hawaii Jiu-Jitsu, making sure these kids have a opportunity if they want to live a Jiu-Jitsu lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it comes from. It's just supporting the friends that we've all trained with. All coming up through the ranks. All of us have our academies or stuff going on where. It's really amazing to just support each other and keep building Hawaii Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
You guys have sponsored athletes. What does Day by Day, the brand, or you as an individual look for in someone you want to sponsor, or what would be like some advice you would give to an athlete that is looking for sponsorships or considering them?
Just real quick, when you asked Ryan from Information this question,
I did.
I was listening. I was like, oh man, that was a really good question. I wonder if he's gonna ask me that one day. But I agree with Ryan when he said, when you're out there hunting for a sponsor or searching for a sponsor, it could be more productive if you're actually just hammering away on the mats, focusing on your journey and your results and making yourself marketable as an athlete, and then the sponsors will come to you. We will find you. One of the cooler stories that we've had with Day by Day is we get a lot of inquiries from kids and adults that want to be sponsored, and we could only help out a certain amount of people, right? Just business model. You can't help out everyone, but of course you want to help out everyone, but we have to find some way to separate these athletes from the pack of athletes that are applying. So one thing that I like to tell aspiring athletes is, it's good to choose a brand that, any brand out there that fits well with, that you connect with, and that also fits well in your status or part of the journey. So let's say if you're a beginner blue belt, or let's say a kid, if you're a gray belt kid that's trying to get a sponsor, it's not going to be a good match to go hit up Show Your Roll, because they're like way up here and you're right here. Even for Day by Day now, our kids team, they have set the standard so high that all of our kids are Pan Am champs, or even multiple time Kid Pan champs. And then Kids Pans is like the world's for kids, right? So then now we have local gray white belts that want to get sponsored, and I'm like, oh, you're doing everything right, but it's just so hard because we have these kids that set the bar really high. So we try to work out other things with them where we could still support them, but as far as like our official athletes, for the kids, that's how high the bar has been set for these kids. We had a girl that her name's Naya. She's from Foundation in Big Island. She wasn't officially sponsored by us, but she went to Kids Pans. She was wearing a Day by Day gi. She won gold in that match. Her gi, it was a bloody match. She got her gi all bloody. And then I'm good friends with her professor, and then after that match, she took a picture, her Day by Day gi all bloody with her gold medal, and then she's like, does this earn a sponsorship? I was like, I don't even think she asked. I was like, we're gonna sponsor you. That's the awesome kind that you need. Like, so to the athletes, kind of going backwards, like, you need to pick a brand, support them. Pick a brand that you like, that you're willing to pay for. Go do something cool wearing that gi. Win a nice tournament. Go do an event. Something. And then you come back and turn around and be like, I've been repping. This is what I do. This is what I did. Can I have a shot?
That's good advice.
When you come to us like that, it's harder to say no.
It's got to be mutually beneficial, like symbiotic, like Spider-Man, right? Like you get something out of it, they get something out of it, then everyone wins. Because
we get inquiries too. People sending over their podium photos wearing like, Hyperfly, and like, I was like, oh, did you ask Hyperfly to be sponsored? Because that would be a better fit because you're sporting Hyperfly, or they're wearing AMP and then they're asking to be sponsored by us. I was like, did you ask AMP, or maybe AP maybe already turned you down and then you choose us? That's why it might. That goes back to what I'm saying about choosing a brand that's kind of like the same level as you, where you can be attractive to that brand based on where you're at in your journey and where the brand is at their journey.
It's a good thing for them to think about. Definitely.
That's great advice. I mean, like align yourself with the brand before they sponsor you. Like, you're there from the beginning, right? Like, why wouldn't the brand want to back you there? If all your podium picks are wearing Day by Day, it's kind of hard. Like that photo that Naya got, I mean, it was organic. It wasn't like she posed for it. It's not like she made it. It was like, hey, this happened, and I'm wearing your stuff.
Exactly.
Very cool. Can we shift it to your match at Submission Battleground? Can we talk about that a little bit?
So Barrett Yoshida, 152 pounds.
How did this come to be? Because Barrett's from Hawaii. Your brothers played him twice? Once. Okay. So there's some like cool backstory to this, but how did the match come to be where like, hey, we're gonna get AJ, he's gonna fight Barrett?
So Laka and I we're both members of Mono Jiu-Jitsu. So even last year, for the first show, the first submission battlegrounds, we were kind of. I've always known that I wanted to have a match against Barrett at some point in my career.
He's a legend.
back last year, basically, it wasn't matching up with my schedule.
Okay.
I had stuff to do in the first quarter of the year, so.
And you were announcing on that one, right?
Yeah. So I just ended up announcing on that one, and then so then when me and Laka were in Japan in September, we all went out there to do the SJJIF Worlds.
Okay.
And then I had a really good run there. I had a 60-man bracket. I won 3 fights, and then I got hurt in the last fight, so I couldn't really perform in the final.
Okay.
I feel I would have done good in the final if I was healthy, but basically I had a good run because in the black belt division, anytime you leave our island and could go win 3 matches, whether it's masters or adult, like that's a job well done.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was
no doubt.
just winning a black belt's a huge accomplishment.
Exactly, right? So I was on a good one in Japan, and I was like, Laka, you gonna do Submission Battlegrounds 2025? And then he's like, yeah. And then I was like, I want to take the Barrett match,
Awesome.
So I told him basically, I think that was like early October.
Okay.
So I kind of had,
had it in his ear a little bit.
Yeah, and then Laka's like, all right, we'll make it happen. So as soon as I healed my knee after that tournament, I've already been, kind of thinking about it and training hard.
That's one of the things we talked about on our first podcast was how the promoters know the fighters, so they can make really good, exciting matchups. For us to see. So
they're doing a really excellent job with the matchups.
And you chose to fight up a weight bracket in this.
To make this happen.
Because Barrett naturally a little bigger than you are.
Yeah, because I feel when Barrett fights in the Federation, he's fighting at featherweight, which is 154 under with the gi.
Yep.
And then when I'm in the Federation, I fight light feather. 141 under with the gi. So, but that's what these local shows and these super fights are about. Sometimes you could have the 2 guys in the different weight classes, match up.
And your teammate went against Barrett.
Yeah.
And then Rod went against Barrett.
And he passed his guard in the beginning, right?
Yeah, so Rod
really
was having a really good run until he got caught, a couple minutes later. So there's been some good video to study, been able to pick the brain of Rod and my brother, and kind of have a little bit of game theory, game plan, going into the match.
You willing to let us in on any strategies, or we're going to save that for the match?
You know what? You
can tell me no.
No, we could talk about it because what's so interesting about Barrett and fighting at the black belt level is everyone's game is so complete and versatile. Yeah. So it's not like you could like really cherry pick a position and just be like, oh, this is where I'm gonna bring it and this is where I'm gonna win. You really just have to be the best complete overall fighter that you could be on that night.
Yeah.
So the last couple times I some of the matches that I studied of Barrett, he was playing a lot of guard.
Okay.
Everyone knows his guard is wicked.
Yeah.
I like to play guard too, so maybe I'll try starting off trying to pass, and then if I can't pass, I got to figure out a way to play guard and kind of give him a different look. So that's kind of a little bit of my game plan, and that's what makes it fun. I don't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna play top and pass this guard, or I don't have to be insistent about playing bottom. That's what's fun about jiu-jitsu and having a complete game. Then it could be fun when you could play both.
Play everywhere. And I like the format where you're not worried about points. You can just sit. If he's down and you're like, you know what, this passing ain't working the way I want it to, I can just sit. We can play double pull. Maybe he comes up. Change the dynamics of the whole game.
Very spot on that you said that, because our friend Gersten, he was able to figure out a way to play bottom against Barrett.
Okay.
He was playing top for the whole fight, and then I think at about 2 minutes left, he couldn't pass his guard. Barrett started. They were kind of in double guard sit, and Gersten figured out a way to hold on to Barrett's leg, and then pull guard, and then make it so Gersten could play guard. Yep. And then that's when he actually hit the
submission attempts.
Yeah, the game-winning move, which he basically overhead swept him and then went to mount.
Nice.
So it came from him playing guard.
Nice. Do you have a tactic, if we're going to the IBJJF stuff, where you're on top and you want to play guard to get there? What I do is I throw up really weak toe holds or ankle locks that have no business ever hitting.
Yeah.
Just to see if the guy will come up. And I do that quite a bit if I'm not having success on the top. Do you have tactics you use in point tournaments, play matches?
In point tournaments, What's the question again?
Like, do you have, if you're playing top and you want to play guard, like
Mhm.
you're saying how Gerson did it, like, do you have a tactic you normally do to get back to it? You can play guard without giving up the sweet points?
I do, but then I like to, in the tournament, in the federation, I like to stay on top if I'm on top.
Okay.
You know?
That's usually the decision.
Yeah, because I don't want to possibly just give up the 2 just so I could play bottom and then be behind 2. Like, I feel like if I stay on top, I could, keep smashing or hopefully pass at some point. Yeah. But that's what's fun about this rule set is, if you're playing top, you could like jump on a foot, and then he might, he might come up to defend it, and then now you get to play guard.
Yeah.
So that would, something like that would apply for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be your analysis of like Barrett's most dangerous positions or move? When you look at him, game planning for him, what are you like? Oh yeah, I want to avoid that the most, or just jump in the fire.
Something that I want to stay away from is when guys pass with double pant grip, kind of like Toriano, pushing to the side and then getting low, getting your shoulder into their chest. I feel Barrett does a really good job of not going flat, and he'll sit up. And then he'll sit up and get his chest over your head. And then that's how he kind of enters a lot of his crucifix entries.
Yeah, I've seen him do
because
that.
these passes are like so committed and you're here, he'll like sit up so that he could get on top of your head and like shove your head down. And then that's where it all starts going downhill for guys.
Yeah.
That's where he capitalized on my brother.
I've noticed that Barrett's really good at taking stuff that is we're taught is fundamentally sound in jiu-jitsu and turning it into something dumb. That you did. That's one of his strengths for sure.
I agree. So luckily I don't really pass that like that too much. I like to have one collar, one pant, or sometimes cross pant passing. So it might match up well with the way I pass, where I don't shove those legs away and come low, where my brother's really good at passing that way, but it kind of played into Barrett's game.
Yeah, I see. That's good to have the insight from him and like pick his brain a little bit. Like,
oh
hey,
yeah,
this is what he did.
We've seen it like all throughout jiu-jitsu. What could be better than having a brother that also trains jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, we're lucky.
The Taggets, the Rotolos.
I mean, even though we don't train with each other,
because he's in
every
California.
day throughout the year. Yeah. So my brother Tim is in San Diego, California. He's Leticia Herbero's first male black belt.
Okay.
And then
nice.
Does he have 3 stripes now? I don't know. He either has 2 or 3 stripes on his black belt. He's had his black belt about a year or 2 longer than me.
Okay.
And then but he had a did very good competing in the federation, Pan Ams, Master Worlds, all of that.
When did you get your black belt?
I got my black belt the end of 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I met you like 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. You were already a brown belt at that time?
Yeah, I think you rolled up to Shiraki's one time for like a lunchtime training.
I did it quite a bit. I was like this, brand new white blue belt-ish. And I remember you would just like who is this guy? Why you're so good? And you would just sit on the side and just kind of help me out with the random stuff. Hey, you should do this. Hey, you should do that. I'm like, all right, cool. And like you probably don't remember it at all, right? Like who remembers the white belts and blue belts? I was like, oh yeah, this guy AJ. He showed me this move, and I would take it back to the gym and like just hit it on everyone. Like, oh, check this out.
Because where were you training back then at that part of your journey?
I was at O2.
Right.
And
so
the reason I was down in at Waikiki was I was living in Aiea, and I ended up moving to like right by Puck's Alley.
Got it.
And you remember Drew Yamamoto?
Of course.
So he was like, dude, there's 2 gyms right by your house. Why are you driving all the way the wrong direction? Just go train somewhere by your house. So Todd's place was like right there. And then Shiraki's was like just down the street. And I was like, let me go check these places out. Like it's much better than driving 30, 40 minutes in traffic to Aiea.
Yes. Cool. I remember, bro. I remember. Yeah.
There's a pretty solid crew of guys that came out of RSA, right? There's like we can kind of consider your class, right? Your graduating class. Yeah.
Yeah. Guys that got black belts with me that are that one of them that just stands out the most is probably Desmond Thane. because he, a lot of people will recognize the guy that competes more than the guy that doesn't compete.
Right.
Yeah.
So Desmond was able to do it all, be a hammer on the mats, and go compete and wave the flag. And he was always one belt ahead of me, and like 10, 15 pounds heavier than me. So he was the guy. I got so much cracks from him coming up the ranks. Like I love the guy, but then he used to give me nightmares at the same time too. So, and I feel like that's what you need.
Oh, for
coming
sure.
up through the ranks is this guy. One of those guys that's a little heavier, a little bit more technical. Because he's higher up rank to just give you cracks.
Yeah.
Right.
Ah.
So Desmond, shout out to Desmond. He's the man. And then we actually did a collaboration gi with him a couple years ago because he's a diver.
Okay.
And then he does the Gyotaku style print.
Oh, okay.
So we did a Gyotaku.
right.
I remember that one. I remember that one.
We went
yeah.
out to Kauai and shot and filmed and got to hang out.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so hopefully, I want to run that one back too.
That's really
we have a
cool.
lot of respect for that. Yeah, Desmond's the man.
What would be for the brand? What would be a dream collaboration for you?
Ooh,
This is the one I always wanted to work with. This guy, dead or alive, all time. What would it be?
that one's tough because I know like AP does the collabs with the big brands like Nike,
Right.
and MLB.
Oh, that Nike one was cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if kind of how we're talking about. It's nice to pick, just like an up and coming athlete trying to get sponsored. It's nice to pick a brand that you somewhat align with in your journey.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be hard for Day by Day to, not hard, but it may be challenging for Day by Day to get a collab with someone as big as MLB or Nike. So I don't.
But
Yeah.
there is this how do I say? These athletes now, right, are discovering they can create their own brands, right, or help somebody who's established help move their needle more, and not just in jiu-jitsu, right?
You see it in surfing.
Yes,
I know that's what you're talking
you see it in
about. Yeah.
surfing, right? And then also trying to cross over past these products that are just jiu-jitsu niche, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is rare, right? But I mean, Kai Lenny, right? I mean, he's sponsored by Hurley, he's sponsored by Red Bull. Just that, obviously on one end of the spectrum compared to everybody else, but it is a possibility.
Yeah. So I do have an answer.
All right. What we got?
I grew up, surfing, skateboarding, bodyboarding, kind of all the action sports. So me and my brothers have always been big Volcom fans.
Oh,
when
yeah.
Ruka came up, we became big Ruka fans too.
Right.
But with Pete Tenori leaving Ruka, that part of the journey, and Ruka's already done collabs with Show Your Roll or whatnot.
Right, yeah.
So I think it would be cool to if we could get a collab
cool.
with Volcom one
Get
day.
a Nogi board short
Yeah.
rash guard set
Yeah.
or something. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
their board shorts are some of my favorites.
Yeah, oh, yeah, they have
those
great
are the surf
products.
shorts that I wear.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So these are even these are Volcom walk shorts.
He's wearing them now.
I have these in 5 colors, because they're just my favorite. The way they fit, the way they look, and the price point, just everything's perfect. So I don't even mess around kind of exploring different shorts. I just buy these in a different color when
Perfect.
I need a couple more shorts. And then these things are 5 years old and they still look new.
Yeah.
So
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Right on.
do you guys remember that old kind of surf skate brand called Counterculture?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was one
They
of my
even had
faves.
shoes, yeah.
That was one of my
They did
faves
have
too.
shoes, yeah,
And
those shoes were cool.
Just kind of the topography of their logo, kind of the CC, and how they kind of face each other sometimes. That was kind of a little bit of the inspiration for Day
I
by
don't know if
Day.
UPS is outside.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah.
Okay, pause. We all remember the brand Counterculture.
Counterculture,
yeah.
back in
That's
the
right,
day.
yeah.
Yeah. So even the topography of that logo with the CC, I always thought about I always liked that logo, and then when we were creating Day by Day, that was a little bit of the inspiration, like the DXD, just with the double letters on the sides, So that's kind of how we thought of that logo too.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, I was just wondering if there's any matches on this card that intrigue you that you're looking forward to seeing.
Oh man,
We can go a couple of them, maybe.
I'm huge fan. I've been lucky enough to train with Evan Isaki and Jeremy Nita. Coming out through the ranks.
Main event.
We're friends and sponsor a couple folks at Isaki Jiu-Jitsu.
Speaking of which, you're sponsoring my opponent. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna show up with the hour by hour rash guard.
Man, so wait, that was gonna be a good one. Darren versus Alika. I've been lucky to roll with. No, actually, I haven't trained with Darren, but I'm super familiar with watching him fight and compete, and
He's
then
good.
also watched Alika fight and compete, and got to roll with him. So
Dude, I am amazed.
That's
at
the
what
perfect matchup.
they do on Kauai, man.
Yeah.
Like not just Isaki, but Kauai wide. Like Kyborg is originally from Kauai. Who else? That guy Longhand is over there. He's like super technical.
That Hunt
Hunters
next
over there.
That Hunt next team, they come in full effect on the tournaments. Every belt, right?
something in the water over there. All those guys are good and tough.
And
Go ahead.
Also produce some of the best surfers in the world.
Correct. Yeah, they. So that I'm really excited to see Darren and Alika go at it. Evan and Jeremy. It makes sense. I mean, that's why they're the headline.
Yeah.
The headline fight. I feel both of them respectively are running. Some of the strongest academies in the state.
Oh yeah.
So it makes sense that we could have these guys, go at it, give the local fans a show.
Like the things they're doing at Trickster, you walk into that thing for an open mat or just a class, their mats are packed. There's like not enough room.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I've never been to Isaki. I gotta go check that place out, but I would love to go down there because when they come out, same thing. Like their purple and brown belts, they're all good. You're like, well, who is that guy? I've never seen him before. Oh, this guy doesn't compete.
Yeah, guys just in the woodworks that you don't even know of, but there'll be a hammer around.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude,
in the training.
He's tapping, like he's passing everyone's guard. He's tapping everyone. I've never seen this guy. He's like, oh no, he does it in Kauai. Like, oh okay, that's why. But what are you guys doing over there? Because like everyone's good. It's crazy.
Speaking of like the outer island schools have a bunch of sleepers that we don't even know of, just because some guys don't make it a point to come out to Oahu to compete. They just like to stay home and train, and some of those guys when I go make the visits are tough. And these like one school, for example, I know like High grade. Ran by Logan Wells.
They have the kid with the cowboy hat, Asher. He's great. I saw him like, who is this kid?
Yeah, so they have these. It's cool to see these schools just, doing so well. When they go out to Master Worlds and Jiu-Jitsu Con, they're bringing like 40 deep.
Yeah.
So like, that's Isaki guys does that. Yep. Trickster does that. Logan and High Grade do that. Roma from Hilo. They always bring a heavy squad, and then who's Aloha Roll from Maui. These the outer island schools definitely represent the Hawaii flag out on the continent.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see. Like before, it was like Oahu centric, and there'd be a gym here or there. But now you go to the outer island. I mean, there's a gym full of hammers. It's so crazy.
Yes, it's exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah.
I think we got to do a day trip, go out, train at some of these gyms.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, dojo storm them, have them beat us up.
Yeah, bro, that used to be one of my. Before we got this place. I mean, now that I have this place, I have to like really buckle down on work and make sure everything's flowing and like a well-oiled machine. But before I had this place, that was one of my favorite things to do, was just go on day trips and visit our outer island athletes and go train with them and break bread with them. And man, that was one of the funnest things.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and then because I was able to make it, I would take first flight out and basically take last flight back, and then I wouldn't even have to pay for a hotel.
Get the whole day, just rent the car and just be good to go.
If you're lucky, you could get 2 sessions in. So you got to put that on your guys' list.
That's cool.
Go interview someone over there. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun little excursion.
All right, so tell us what you know about Alika Dayton.
Alika Dayton. Me and Alika and I have been beating each other up since we were white belts.
Okay.
Basically, I was a white belt at the Helson Gracie Bait Academy on Queen Street, and then he was a white belt at originally at K Team in Kaneohe.
Okay.
And then there were times where we would cross train with each other. That's when we started training with each other. And then when Shiraki ended up opening up his own academy that he called Ron Shiraki Academy, RSA, Alika and I were both purple belts, and then we basically went to go train under Ron at purple belts.
Okay.
And then countless hours on the mats together.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he's in California or Las Vegas?
So he moved when we were brown belts. He moved away to Los Angeles, and then started training at Cabrinha HQ.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a Cabrinha black belt.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Kind of how we were talking earlier. All us guys at the black belt level have complete versatile games where I feel. Just like you guys, you could check all the marks. You guys are tough in all the major positions. So it really is who's gonna,
get to their position.
Yeah,
first.
get to their positions, get to their spots.
That's what it is. Get
bring
there
the fire.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. So, me and Alika and I, he flew in a couple days ago. We got a mini training in on Monday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we're still close friends.
I love how in jiu-jitsu you can train with like your buddy's training partner, his opponent, whatever. It's like. It's a competitive sport, but it's not like a fight, right? Like the vibe can still be good.
Yes, it's not an MMA fight.
Yeah, and in Hawaii, like everyone knows everyone, especially the higher you get in the belts or if the weight classes are close. But like everyone kind of knows everyone, and everyone's like, oh yeah, come train after. Like you hang out with the guys. It's such a cool environment to have.
Yeah, very cool vibes. Yeah, I mean, that's what's happened. For me, when I go to the continent to compete, whether I win or lose against a guy and they hear I'm from Hawaii, they always want to make friends. So they have a contact when they come here and want to visit and want to train. So, I definitely see that too.
That's cool. Can we talk about cross training?
Sure.
Like I know you cross train a lot. You're an instructor over at Mono.
Yes.
But how do you guys feel about cross training?
I encourage my students to go do it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like go get as many flavors of jiu-jitsu you can get. Let me know if you're going to be in their team picture. I'd appreciate that. But other than that, no. Like I was lucky enough that Coach Mike Fowler, he let me go and train at other gyms. He also encouraged me. He was like, just remember that I'm the one that belts you, and that when you compete for us. Other than that, go ahead and do what you want.
Yeah. I think that's a really good idea. Like, if you're going to compete under somebody, just remember, like, you're competing under me. Yeah.
But he's actually pretty cool because he tells me if I go to a tournament and there's another team that's going to be coaching me, I should sign up under their school because they're helping me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like that. Cross training. My professors coming up through the ranks were a little bit different than what Gary explained about.
It was a different
Mike
time. It was a different time.
So that's something that's really been tough for me in my journey, in my jiu-jitsu journey, because there was a point in time where I had to choose between cross training and being out in the community. Growing day by day, doing the things that I needed to do to grow the brand was kind of conflicting with some of the traditional values and policies of, the traditional jiu-jitsu schools that were out there, which, Helson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Ron Shiraki, they definitely had those values of not cross-training. So, also throughout my journey, I was fortunate enough to travel a lot, where I would go back to San Diego, visit my brother Tim, and I really learned a lot from training with Tim and Leticia. Not only just learning techniques when I would go visit, but just kind of learning how to teach myself how to train and implement new systems into my game. Like, not only did they teach me techniques, they taught me how to like train myself.
Okay.
So that was always something that I've been working on since kind of purple belt, was like going there, learning techniques, learning new ways to train, and then implementing it here when I would come back and train with my guys or my close friends.
Uh-huh.
And then at some point in time, it was just too big of a clash with my former academy, where it was just better for us to go to part, go our separate ways, to, so they could keep, their values.
Yep.
They don't have to compromise that, and then I could go ahead and, do what I needed to do for day by
That's
day.
probably better for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? If you want to, not have cross, if that's the way you run your academy, it's a private business. We're in the land of the free. We're in the United States of America, thank goodness. So be it. It's not necessarily the way I would do it, but if that's what you got, then that's the way you do it.
And that's something I've always said to myself. Everyone has their own journey. I don't think it's fair when, some people maybe switch schools because of whatever reason, and then they get called a traitor.
Right. Yeah.
Because some people, just like you were saying, what if you move? There's an academy next door to your house that would be a good home for you.
Yep.
But then your old academy is 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
especially in Hawaii with the traffic.
It wouldn't make sense. Like, it wouldn't make sense, to keep driving over there when you could actually have jiu-jitsu that makes you happy, like 2 minutes from your doorstep.
Yep.
So
Sure.
I believe that you have to do, what's best for your own jiu-jitsu journey. And sometimes we get maybe influenced by the professors or the higher ups about, doing what's best for that, for their academy or their journey, where sometimes we have to focus on, what's best for us and our family, and us keeping our own jiu-jitsu going.
And like, your family's more important than your jiu-jitsu, your career's probably more important than your jiu-jitsu.
Exactly. Jiu-jitsu
it's on the list, but it ain't number one.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu, competing in jiu-jitsu doesn't pay anyone's bills. So you have to make it where it's, fun and convenient, right? And hopefully, I just always thought it was sad when, like, there's guys, they're like, oh, I want to go train with my friends over there. Or, the police academy, they have this open mat sometimes on Sundays. It's like, oh, I want to go to the open mat with all the police officers, but, my professor doesn't let me go.
Yeah.
So I was just like, man, that's kind of super rough. Because I grew up playing ball sports, baseball, basketball. We would, basketball on Sundays. We would just go find pickup games, play anyone, anywhere, go to different courts. And that's what it was about, just playing with anyone.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then now you're having these guys tell you, who you can and can't play with.
And you build relationships with new people, but you have relationships with old people that are in the same hobby as you. Like, dude, you roll, I roll, let's just go train, right?
Speaking of counterculture, so it's not like you were saying, it's not unusual to go to a park or wherever and see people playing basketball, right? Mm-hmm. It's not even so unusual to see two kids, maybe even two adults, just like play wrestling, right? So normalizing throwing down a tarp, throwing down a mat, and seeing a bunch of people in a park doing jiu-jitsu, like what would it take for something like that to happen? Would it be good for jiu-jitsu? Like, what do you think?
I think it'd be cool to do park open mats, just unannounced, just show up and like, hey, anyone want to row?
I mean, because I feel like there's times where, sometimes academies have like their, yearly barbecue picnic, potluck at the beach. Mm-hmm. They'll bring mats. Sometimes there's guys from the party that are rolling there, and maybe, a random or two will jump in too. So, as long as everyone is keeping it safe and rolling with good vibes, then that's good. Yeah. But at the same time too, I feel, I'm sure you guys could tell now too, like you could tell when you, kind of engage with someone else, and if they have a different vibe to like, not to, of course they want to beat you, but maybe hurt you.
Right.
They would risk injury to beat you. where that's something, that's something that
account for,
that makes it different.
What's your approach when someone gets like a little too aggressive just from like the initial engagement? What do you do? Do you turn it up on them? Because like you have the ability to turn it up on guys.
That's a good question, because when Kekoa opened up, Kekoa Collective opened up, I think
the Ward Center one.
Yeah, like what was that, like 2017ish or something?
Yeah, sometime around there.
Basically on Tuesdays,
they'd have their little open mat.
They'd have open mat, and I was basically there. Me and Aubrey, when they first started, were basically there every Tuesday, and we were just welcoming everyone to come roll and train with us. And then we would run into these scenarios where, like, just because everyone's coming to train, you would get sometimes these like aggro, aggro guys. So a good way to explain it is, I have like a game that I play that's low injury, low risk, that I play against these dangerous guys.
Okay.
Where and then when I'm playing with, like, guys that are my friends and guys that are the same size, then I could open up a little bit and kind of do more weird stuff that involves like a little bit higher risk of hurting your body.
Right.
But then there's a game that I play against these dangerous guys where a lot of the moves I play is low risk for my body.
Yeah,
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Speaking of one of those open mats, high risk people, Aubrey was there going with somebody. I think you might have even been there. And the guy was like trying to push Aubrey up against the wall. So Aubrey like wall walked inverted with his feet like up on the wall and ended up taking the guy's back or something and submitted him.
Yeah, that's what you did, like Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
I think we were laughing after. I was like, well, he kind of deserved that. Yeah, because we would get, just randoms from all over the island, and then also random visitors. Yeah, and then it's just funny that I think at these, when it's like a community mat, you're not out there to be the champ, the champ of the Kekoa mat.
Yeah.
You're more just out there to like exchange some techniques, play chess, like, you don't have to win every round, not making sure your partner doesn't get injured. That should be top priority.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was so unique at the time because it was in a mall and it was like right in front of the window. People would be walking by and just walk in and just watch. And I remember multiple times people just taking videos of it. And it's like, I've never seen this person in my life. This person doesn't even do jiu-jitsu probably. Just, what are those guys doing? It was so weird. I had never seen anything like that at the time.
Shout out to Kekoa for doing something like that.
But at the same time too, I think those community open mats is what started breaking down the wall of like the old school Hawaii not cross training policies. I think that's when more people started to mix it up. It came a little bit more out in the mainstream about guys training with one another.
I think the Hawaii vibe had a little more influence, and the generational vibes or morals or values or whatever started taking over, and there wasn't that faux pas like you couldn't do it or you shouldn't do it. I don't know.
Agree.
It's cool to see the more people work on a problem, like crowdsourcing, the more people that work on a problem, the quicker better answers you get, right?
Yeah. So. And I mean, that's what we say in jiu-jitsu too. It's like you want to have as many different looks as possible so that, when it comes competition time, you've experienced it or you're somewhat ready. So if you're just training with the same 20 guys in your room, let's say that's 20 different looks, there's going to be another guy in your division that plays a game totally different than those 20. So it really makes sense to, cross train, not even, just mix it up basically. Like I wouldn't even call it, sometimes it's even just hard to call it cross training because sometimes that has like a bad some people say just because that so many people have said that's bad.
We got to find a different
word.
Just
training. Let's call it training.
I know.
You train, I train.
Yeah.
I like seeing. I cross train or I train at a lot of places because I don't really live anywhere permanently. I like seeing when I show something that they haven't seen or they don't do, and then I come back like 2 months later, and you had 30 people working on your problem,
that's cool.
And they have different answers, and like, oh, I do this, or like, oh, I started, and they're like, it doesn't even have to be like, oh, that guy's a black belt. It's like sometimes I learn stuff from guys with 2 years of jiu-jitsu, and they're like, oh, I've been playing with this. Like, I've never thought of that. Show me what you're doing. And it's so cool to see how people process the information and they like bring it back to you because they have their own twist on it. Like, I've changed so much of what I do from someone that like by belt or by rank you wouldn't be like, oh, well, you're not learning from that guy. Like, I've definitely learned from that guy because they've taken something that I thought I had done really well and they made it even better. Right? Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, I love that kind of like white belt mentality where you're always trying to learn. And, everybody is their own scientist in their own right.
Yep.
So there's definitely something you could learn from a lower ranked guy, but he may be a specialist in the position that you guys are talking about that day.
Yeah.
So, you could definitely learn something from someone of lower rank. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
I'm curious if you find what parallels and similarities you find between being in the ocean, whatever it is you do, and jiu-jitsu.
Oh, that's a good question. One real quick thing. I haven't surfed or bodyboarded in like a year.
Oh, that's okay. It's okay.
Work has been so busy.
They'll find you again.
Like, I just want to get barreled. Maybe I could get some late season after, get some late season in the spring after all this.
We gotta do some Volcom board day by day board short test. That's what we need.
Like, bro, I don't even check Surfline anymore because I know I can't make it. But the parallels, great question. I feel, something that really resonates with me is, when we're out and the sets start coming, maybe you caught a wave, the set starts coming in, you're in the impact zone, and you're just taking cracks, trying to make it back out, trying to weather the storm.
Right.
It's very, you're just taking licks out there, frustrating. You really have to, just focus on each paddle and each duck dive, trying to get back out to where you could, be safe and catch another wave. So I feel that really correlates to jiu-jitsu because there's times in each round or times in each match where you are getting the short end of the stick, you're getting the licks, you're getting pounded, and you have to focus, weather the storm, stay strong mentally, perseverance, and go ahead and get to a spot that's a little bit more comfortable where you're playing your game.
That's how I feel every time I roll with AJ. Just survive.
Just impact.
Just stay here a little longer. I lasted 3 minutes last time. Let me get 3.5 this one.
So I relate my wave riding and bodyboarding to jiu-jitsu a lot because even I joke around with the big strong guys in the academy. It's like, oh, I wasn't going to train with you today because I kind of just wanted to surf the small waves. But I was like, okay, let's surf some big waves. Let's train. So I see so many so many similarities.
Dude, just one help. I mean, other than the mental aspect, is one helping you benefit the other?
I feel that surfing and even just swimming really stretches out my lungs for cardio. Sometimes our jiu-jitsu is so efficient where we're able to play jiu-jitsu and not really get winded.
Right.
Because we're experienced at what we
Knowledge,
do.
yeah.
We know how to conserve our energy. We could train like 8 rounds in a row and then not get tired, where there's times where I'll go swim laps at the Kaneohe pool and it's a 50-meter pool, and then 200 meters I could be like more gassed than rolling 6-minute rounds. So I feel like just swimming and being in the ocean really like stretches out your lungs, gives you another level of cardio that you could bring into jiu-jitsu.
What about like on the soul spiritual side? So just as an example, for me, I don't know why, but for some reason I feel like when I go into the salt water, if I have a cold or maybe I have an injury, that I just feel better.
Same.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, even the little colds that we get, like sometimes we'll just go to the beach just to jump in and just like get it all out of your.
Yeah, that salt water runs through your
nose,
just flushing everything out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that. Same for us. We're lucky that we live in Hawaii where we could where we could do that. You know.
Yeah.
It's such a unique place. Like we have all the modern, good first world problems here, and then we have like the beach, and like we're so spoiled with our beaches because we're like, oh, that's an ugly beach, that's a terrible beach, it's a bad surf day. People would kill for our bad beaches. They would kill for our bad surf. Our bad surf days, people are stoked when they come and visit, and we're like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're just surrounded by beauty living here.
Yeah, we're too lucky. Because even my I still get to go to the beach a lot because we like to take the family, hang out on the beach. My oldest daughter's really into fishing, so we're more looking for like fishing spots now than like hunting for waves.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just the whole beach setup has changed a little bit. So now we look for like places where they could swim and fish instead of like places for me to get barreled.
Right.
But I'll take what we could get. Just the fact that we could go to the beach as a family is a huge win.
Yeah. Spending time with the family in the water, that's great.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat.
That's priceless.
Can I ask a question for both of you? Okay, so 2 parts, but who was like your dream matchup, someone you could compete with in any era, and then who would that person be if it was a local person?
You go ahead, AJ.
All right. I think I got a good answer for this one.
Okay.
So when I was before I signed up at the House and Gracie Queen Street Academy in 2006. But before then, I had a little bit of experience, kind of just like doing freestyle jiu-jitsu in my friend's garage.
Okay.
And then, so my friends, they came to visit me here in Hawaii, and then in 2005, before I actually signed up at Helson's, and they were gonna go do a Triple Crown tournament. On their trip. I think my best friends growing up, Brian and Shannon Gugerty, both of them are Dean Lister black belts. And now Dean Lister black belts, but back then they were blue. I think they were blue belts. So we roll up to the Triple Crown in 2005. I think I don't know what high school it was at, but as soon as we walked through the door, my friend Brian, we see this guy walk by. He like pats me on the shoulder and then whispers in my ear. He's like, "Bro, that's Barrett Yoshida right there. He's probably the baddest guy in the building." So this is 20 years ago.
Oh my God.
And then I was just like, oh, so this is kind of like the first jiu-jitsu star I ever heard of, Of course, never thought about it like, that day anymore. And then as, my journey continued, learned more about him, and then came to a point, 10, 12 years later where my brother could get a match against him.
Right.
And then, some of my friends could get a match against him. And then I was like, man, I think, there's going to be a time where I'm going to want to take a crack at it and, give him a match. So to answer your question, this is the match.
You got the match.
This is the match for me.
That's amazing.
That's
like
awesome.
that guy that you looked up to and that you saw him, and then all of a sudden you get actually like your idols become your rivals.
Yeah, kind of like 20 years
cool.
of my own training, 20 years of my own journey. Now I could have, my own shot at him and see how it goes.
That answers both my questions because he's like a legend all time and he's from Hawaii. You nailed it with like one stone.
Right there, bro.
This guy's good. Have you ever trained with him?
I've never trained with him.
Okay.
I've never trained with him.
Oh, this will be cool.
One of my good friends said he went to go visit him about, I think maybe 8 years ago. Barrett put on a blindfold for their role.
To the surprise.
Yeah. So, real ninja status.
He's a ninja. He is. He really is.
Yeah. So, how was it when you guys played each other?
I talked about it in the last one, I don't know if you saw, but so I'll try not to repeat that stuff. But if I could do it again, I would not give him so much respect.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really respected his game, respect him as an athlete, and outside of the competition thing, like totally right. Like that stuff is okay, but I do think I respected his jiu-jitsu a little too much, and I didn't pull the trigger enough
On some stuff.
But his first 20 attacks that he threw at me, I was able to fend off.
Nice.
But it was the 21st that got me.
Yeah, you can't. It's like putting your opponent on a pedestal like that day, that night is something that we gotta get past mentally, right?
For sure.
He's like one of the
so
nicest
hard to
guys, jiu-jitsu guys I've met in person. He helped. First time I trained with him, I was a white belt, and he helped me out. And so, yeah, like I said, just a lot of respect for that guy.
Yeah.
Like him.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, excited to share the match with him and go to battle with him. So.
That's sick. That's really sick.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it in a couple of days, Submission Battleground, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Who would be your matchup? Who all time, anyone, and then like locally Hawaii?
Okay, so there's this guy named Bryce Lighthall. He's from Florida. Trains with Bruno Malfacine.
Okay.
I don't know if he still trains. I haven't seen him popping up on the competition circuit, or maybe he still trains but doesn't compete as much. But he beat me in the finals at Pans. I'd like to get that one back.
Nice.
For sure. And then
It's always good to get the ones that you like. I could have had that one. I want that match back.
Yeah. But dream matchup locally, man, who would be another one? Justin Puerto from Island Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, he's good.
I don't think he's a
Trainer
black belt.
Justin.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a
good.
brown belt. His passing is like.
Yeah.
He has great passing.
Because we competed twice. He beat me maybe 3 times. I can't remember. Anyway, I beat him once, and then he got the better of me for sure at the last one. But we both had like the best haircuts at the time.
So we had 2 winners.
I
Yeah.
heard Justin took some time off from jiu-jitsu and he just got back into it. Has anyone heard about that? Because
he might have been focusing on his career for a minute.
Is that what it
right?
was?
Yeah.
He has some phenomenal body lock passing where like you're watching him like, I don't think that's gonna work, and he would just slice through guys' guards.
Yeah.
He was
He's
really
solid,
good. Did he
yeah.
fight Brendan?
He went against at some like underground show. I
Something,
think he went
yeah.
against Brendan, like a no-gi thing. I believe Justin beat him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I remember watching that. Brendan's guard is really good,
Yeah.
and I think he passed Brendan's guard like 2 or 3 times.
Ooh, yeah, that's tough.
Justin Porto's passing is
Yeah, he's
really
good,
good. That'd be a cool match.
Yeah, another water lover. You know, a lot of respect for what Island Jiu-Jitsu is doing, what they've done. But yeah, I think that would be a fun one
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree.
Oh, there's a great athletes coming out of Island. They have some of the top guys. They're so good.
Yeah, I like watching Kyle Oswald too.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
cool to see him on the card.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
coming back. Yeah.
Super lanky guy. So he's always an interesting role when I go visit them or share the mats with him because just his length is super hard to deal with.
Does anyone know
Yeah.
why Tashia Alo's not on this card? Is she injured or is something going on?
fought.
She's doing stunt work. She's doing stunt work and has to be on the continent.
Okay.
When this is going on.
Okay,
So,
okay.
So work conflict schedule. Where she's gonna be off island.
She was the champ, right? She won against.
Mo
So
Black?
a Brow's wife.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Abral's wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
forget
I was
her
wondering, like, we're gonna see her compete again, but she's been doing a lot of stuff on the mainland too, right? Like.
Yeah, and
some
then
of
she
the
just
East
did like I
Opens.
think the recent ADCC.
Okay.
You know, I
Yeah,
know
one of
she
the
won a couple
Opens,
matches
yeah.
over there.
She's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
she
she's-
is really good.
she's fun.
I like watching her. She's aggressive too.
Yeah, she lives Ha'ula, which is kind of so it's a trek for her to. Must
Go
be a trek for
anywhere.
her to go into town, but
Anywhere.
But we got her over here one day.
Okay.
And got to train with her. Yeah, that was good fun.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
good. I like watching her.
Yeah, when she was her and her sister, I think they were like maybe 9 and 10. They used to go up to the Helsing Gracie Academy on
Okay.
Queen Street. So, I've been seeing them around since they were like
the
10
whole,
years
the
old.
whole family trains, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the brother,
brother, yeah.
Javen, I refed one of his matches. That guy is hilarious. He was talking the whole match.
Yeah,
and like funny stuff. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the brother's pretty big, right?
He's big.
Yeah.
He's good. His wrestling was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He was trying to pass the guy's guard, and the guy kept standing up. And at one point, he just couldn't pass. He tells the guy to get back up. I need to take you down again. Like, he tells the guy that. Hey, can you stand up so I can take you down again? And no joke, the guy gets up, and he does exactly what he said he was going to do. I'm like,
Dang.
this guy is so funny.
Yeah, their takedowns are so good.
Yeah.
That
So
that
good.
entertainment factor, like, I was trying not to laugh when he was doing it, but I think a couple of times, like, I broke. I'm just like, oh, man. That whole family's phenomenal. They're great.
Yeah, they're tough. Very tough.
What about you?
All time, and I have no business being on the match with him, but I just want to say I fought him one time, would be Marcelo. And he's back, right? He's back on the
Yes.
Oh
circuit.
yeah, he's back competing. You might-
Yeah, he won.
And we talked about him last time, like Marcelo, when I've trained with him, it's been non-competitive, but just the chance to be on the mats with him, like, it doesn't even need to be a super fight. It could be like in a random tournament or whatever, but with something on the line, I think it would be cool. And you never know. I mean, like, probably not, but you never know, right?
Everybody got a puncher's shot,
but
right?
that is my all-time favorite grappler, and just to share the mats with him would probably be like, yeah, that'd be it. So I don't know, he's not really local, kind of is. If we go like Hawaii grapplers, is probably this guy that runs a brand that doesn't sponsor me but sponsors my opponent. But I think that goes back.
We gotta update that.
I think that goes back honestly to like when I started, right? Like there's certain people that helped you with something or did something and you always looked up to. AJ has been the number one under 140 guy in Hawaii pretty much since I started jiu-jitsu. Everyone was always like, yeah, but what about AJ? And every time I've seen him fight somebody, like, oh, here's a good, yeah, this guy's really good. Oh, he has a chance. Like AJ takes him out. So for me, it's not, and like jiu-jitsu, right? We can be friends and still be like, oh yeah, like we can still play against each other. You have always been that, like, you're the benchmark. You're the guy to beat in Hawaii, and AJ also murders me every time we spar. But I think, again, it would be cool to just share the match with somebody that you really respect and get out there and just be like, yeah, let's just see what happens. And he also would murder me. But it would be cool to do.
Yeah, and, you never know what happens on that day. That's why, take that as a compliment. I need him to get
injured early. He injured and not pull out of the fight. That's the only chance I have. But yeah, I think those would be my two.
Right on. Having Marcelo in Hawaii.
Oh gosh,
that's just yeah. I think it's still kind of sinking in. I haven't got to visit his academy and take a class, but there was a handful of times he came to Kaneohe to train with Mikey Tangon, and then I was lucky enough to get invited to the session, and I got to roll with him, a bunch of times.
He's great.
You know who Josh Waitskin is?
So good.
Yeah, the art learning guy.
Yeah.
He's a foiler too, right?
So you've heard of the Searching for Bobby Fischer, that movie?
Yeah.
That chess player. So that movie was actually about him.
Okay.
Right? And he is one of Marcelo Garcia's black belts.
Oh. Didn't he make his website or something like that?
Yeah, he made the MG in Action.
That guy is like
for him.
good at everything.
Yeah.
No way.
I think him and his wife. Emily Kwok is his wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's a Marcelo?
Yeah, also
black belt.
black belt. And anyway, that guy Josh, even Emily, like they have like their way that they think about not just jiu-jitsu but just things in general is like really, really unique. I think they moved to like Costa Rica or something.
Okay.
They're raising their family over there. So, but Josh is also a surfer.
Yeah.
Okay. Also,
he got real into it, right?
Yeah. Foiler, actually, foil surfing.
Oh, right there.
So, Marcelo has a way of just touching people and helping them reach their potential, I guess. Or he just hangs out with really highly successful people. And kids, take note. You gotta hang out with what you want to be like.
Yeah.
Good advice. Sure.
Let's circle back to Mikey Tangan. He's been doing some pretty good things for this side of the island. He just opened his new spot.
Yeah, right? So it's actually just around the corner right here.
Yeah.
K-Team is like the original, Kaneohe Jiu-Jitsu Academy. And then, recently Mikey opened up here. And then we have Scott from...
and he's down at the mall, right?
Hawaii Jiu-Jitsu Lab over there. So there's, more options, more, a couple Jiu-Jitsu. There's a lot of people in Kaneohe, Kahului, where, now there could be 3 academies that everyone could choose from.
Yeah. There's a bunch out there because besides those, Marcelo's here, right? And then
Marcelo's in Kailua.
Is Hybrid in Waimanalo, or is it?
I think Hybrid's Kailua too.
Kailua, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who else is in Kailua?
There's another Gracie school, Gracie Kailua.
There's Gracie Kailua, Jason Izagari guys.
Yep.
I think Niza has a school.
Masters. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
we got a lot
that
of
kind of fills
gyms out
it. I feel like if you keep going that way, nothing really in Waimanalo, unless there's like some, there's probably like some underground guys in a garage.
Oh, for sure.
That we don't know about.
Yeah.
But as far as like public academies, nothing in Nalo, and then you go around the bend, and then you hit Hawaii Kai.
Yeah.
And then I feel like once you get to Hawaii Kai, it'll be HNL Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep.
Right,
Kale,
HNL.
Kale Quinn.
And once you get to town, it's like every 3 blocks is a new
yeah,
gym.
and then once you get to town, it's just boom, boom,
Crazy,
boom.
yeah.
I love how the
Jiu-jitsu is
sports grow
live
like
out
that.
here.
Yeah.
Like before, it'd be like maybe you had one gym every 3 towns or whatever, and now it's like everywhere you go, there's somebody, and everyone you know trains. Like,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
Yeah, because even when you go north of like Kaneohe, Kahului,
Yeah.
get like
Blaine's out there, right?
Blaine,
Blaine's
yeah,
out there,
Blaine
yeah.
out there
Yeah.
is out there.
Yeah.
Where are they? They're like Punaluu.
Something like that. I've never been.
Yeah.
I've just seen like videos and pictures, but he's like in some like there's like a concrete pad and like these big tents and everything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's kind
they
of
like
outdoors. Like
they like set it up.
that's such a cool training environment.
It kind of looks like you're training in the jungle.
their backdrop is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Mountain.
it's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has some really cool videos and pictures when they shoot up there.
Yeah.
And he's also a monster. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the card too.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He was originally supposed to play Brandon Gross
I know, I wanted
from
to see
DVG. Brandon Gross is a Kaneohe boy. I'm, super close friends with him. Brandon had an injury,
Okay.
had to pull out, and then I'm not familiar with the guy that took Brandon's place.
I don't know.
To
Who is
play
it?
Blaine.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know who it was.
I remember when I saw that matchup, I'm like, this is going to be exciting. Like, Brandon has looked so good lately. Just watching him really just
Yeah.
chase after stuff. Blaine's always, like you said, he's the wizard, right? He's always going for this. I was like, oh, this is going to be a fun matchup. I'm kind of sad it's not happening, but I'm sure Blaine's still going to bring it, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
the fights are always going to be good.
Yeah. Like that was a banger matchup. Brandon versus Blaine. That matchup was another testament to the promoters.
Yes.
Just knowing
Yeah.
the local athletes.
Yeah. Oh, for
you know.
sure. For sure.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got project-wise, day by day after this last drop? You got anything you can share with us, or is it all kind of under wraps, top secret vault?
Let me think. We have that. We're gonna be doing a Light Sleepers collab this
Okay.
year.
Mark me down in that pre-sale already. A1L.
All right,
I want it. Yeah.
we lock you in.
I'm
we
in.
lock
I'm in.
you
I'll
in.
pay for it now.
We have some. What I'm really impressed with is the Hawaii youth athletes that are just, getting out there to the continent and
Yes.
going to compete at, now that you have these ADCC Opens, you have the IBJJF, there's even like these smaller no-gi shows.
Yeah.
We have a couple kids that we're close with. That one of them's Max from Island
Yeah,
Jiu-Jitsu.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Another one is the kid Asher from Foundation,
Yep.
and then Asher's teammate.
Asher's-
Sorry, not at Foundation, at High Grade.
Okay. Yeah. There's the Logan guys. Yeah.
And then also there's another kid at High Grade. His name is Boom.
I haven't seen him.
Pohako, I think is his first name, real name, but we all just call him Boom.
Okay.
But basically, they got chosen for a. It's like a 3-on-3 youth team.
not
team.
main character.
Main character.
Yeah.
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 So
That
they
looks like a
basically
good
made
card.
like a Hawaii team, and they're calling them like the Sons of Aloha.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
So, we got something in the works for those boys.
That's
awesome.
cool. That's
Yeah,
really
that,
cool.
that I'm.
So that's like
that I'm pretty excited
This
about.
whole podcast thing was kind of like at least for me, was the inspiration. I was like, nobody's telling the story of, well, one, Hawaii Jiu-Jitsu, or especially like kids Jiu-Jitsu in Hawaii, and then I saw what Alika was doing, and I was like, oh, dude, this guy's got the voice. Like, this is who I got to get on board with this. We have yet to, spotlight the kids and whatnot. But, yeah, I totally agree that what these Hama kids are doing is amazing.
Yeah, because they're they're going out there and getting these like Pan Kids titles,
Yeah.
and they're coming from like Makana Godwin and Aloha Roll in Maui. He's
Yeah.
like 3-time, 4-time Pan Kid champ, and you would never think most people would overlook like the island of Maui to have like a 3-time Kid Pan champ.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you got kids like that. And just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, what you were saying about, you know, telling these stories, that's something that's important to me and Day by Day too, because you have these huge brands like Kings, you know, Show Your Roll. Everyone sponsored, you know, of course they want to sponsor Tynan, Cole, but they're all telling the same story now, you know, like how many Flow Grappling day in the life or vlogs have you seen on Cole and Tynan, right?
Yeah, that's all there is.
To me, there's so much genuine and authentic stories going on of other jiu-jitsu practitioners that aren't world champs, but they're community leaders, you know, contenders in their division, you know, whether they're masters or kids or kid champs, that, you know, these stories need to be told too, because these stories are actually, to me, a little bit more relatable to the normal jiu-jitsu practitioner than the guy that's just pursuing to be, you know, the top, you know, the next Tynan Dalpra, you know? So I really, that's something that we do a little different. Instead of just, you know, paying some top 2 contender in the black belt adult division, you know, that may not even be connected to Hawaii or connected to the brand, we'd rather, you know, spread more organically and make these like local, you know, kind of local relationships to kind of like build the framework of our following, rather than just hiring Andre Galvao or something, you know, like that way we could like kind of share our support through more people rather than just one person. Also, and you need to tell the story. Like there's amazing stories going on of like other guys that are just like killing it, you know, in jiu-jitsu, but they're not, you know, they're not a Tynan Dalpra.
Maybe they don't have social media. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's nice that you mentioned that.
I like supporting local and backing the talent here and getting their stories out and getting like them out there. People want to come to Hawaii. People want to visit Hawaii, but they don't know anywhere to get to know these people. And if you don't stumble across their Instagram, like what's the odds you see these kids, these young adults, whatever. But it'd be really cool to get everyone's stories out. So if we could get some of those kids. Asher's on the card. Are the
Asher's on the card.
Was the other one Boom? Is he on the card? No?
Boom and Max are not in Submission Battlegrounds.
Oh, maybe we can try and get a hold of him, see if he'll stick around after or something, and sit down with him, because he's got a cool little, like, he shows up to the tournaments, the cowboy hat, and boots. He has boots on,
and he shreds in the water.
Oh, does he?
The guy can ride a short board and a long board. He just sent me. You know how the waves have been good. Bro, he sent me a couple clips of him just like huge bottom turn and then pulling in, stalling into a barrel, coming out, big hack. I was just like, man, the kid just shreds on the mats and off the mats.
Just an overall cool kid. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, get some support behind him. Let's figure out how we can get a hold of him.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, like, I'd rather see a day in the life on, you know, somebody like that than see another day in the life video of these same guys that we keep seeing. You know. Like there's other important, you know, stories and genuine and authentic stories in jiu-jitsu that need to be, you know, kind of shared.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks. Well, what do you think?
That's like, thank you for coming. Do you have anything else you'd like to talk about?
What do you want to leave us with, AJ?
I mean, that was pretty good. That last statement was pretty good.
I don't know. I had a blast. I feel like the time went by so fast. If I actually had like an hour to take a break from work and like talk to you guys and hang out, you know, this is exactly what we'd be chatting about. So it's pretty cool to like, you know, have it be on camera where people, you know, other people can listen to it too. You know, very exciting week for Hawaii Jiu-Jitsu with the Submission Battlegrounds. You know, shout out to Charles, shout out to Laka for, you know, having the want to, you know, elevate Hawaii Jiu-Jitsu.
They do an awesome job at this event.
I don't think, you know, of course you have the other promotions that, you know, go from town to town and throw these shows, but I don't know of another local promotion that could throw a show as killer as this, in their hometown. Nobody has really done that. All of the all of these type of shows are kind of like tour stops.
Yeah.
Where like this is being thrown by, you know, the homegrown boys, you know, the local boys.
This is the premier event. Like this is our Rumble on the Rock. This is gonna change Hawaii Jiu-Jitsu. I really do feel that Submission Battleground is like you win this, you have that belt. It means something right now.
Yeah, they just got you know, so many of the right guys on the card and got the right matchups. So it's gonna be a very exciting night.
And we're gonna bring the belt back to Hawaii, right? 152.
That's the plan. That's the plan. That's the plan. I didn't think it happened out there, but that's the plan. You know that. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate
your
it.
time. Good luck.
Good luck to you boys.
Yeah,
thank you for thank you for the time and coming up here too. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Saturday is gonna be a good one.
For sure.
Yeah.
Spider-Man drop day by day.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.